Pedro Alvares Cabral was born around 1467, in Belmonte, Portugal. His exact date and place of birth is not known. Pedro Alvares Cabral's father was Fernão Alvares Cabral, and his mother was Isabel Gouveia. In his family he had 4 brothers, and 6 sisters. According to records, he was christened Pedro Álvares de Gouveia, and only took his father's name, after his elder brother had died, in 1503. According to myth, it is said the Cabrals descended from Caranus, the first king of Macedonia, and quite a legend, and apparently 7th-generation scion of Hercules the demigod. The family were also honored, and rose to prominence, in the 14th century, as a result of Pedro's military commander, great-great-grandfather, being one of the few nobles to support, and remain loyal, to Don João I, the King of Portugal during the war against the King of Castile. As a member of the nobility, albeit a lower-ranking noble family, Pedro was sent to the court of the then king, Don Afonso V, when he was only 12 years old. He duly received an education befitting his station. He was taught the humanities, he learnt to use weapons, and was instructed on how to fight. By the age of 17, he would be named Muso Fidalgo by King Don João II. Pedro Alvares Cabral's character would be described as well-learned, generous, prudent and courteous, humble and tolerant with enemies, but nonetheless, vain and overly concerned with being shown the respect he felt his title commanded. On February 15, 1500, Pedro Alvares Cabral was given the appointment of Major Captain, or Commander-in-Chief, of a fleet that was to set sail for India. At this time it was the Portuguese monarch that decided which nobles would be appointed to which military and naval commands. At times this could prove detrimental, as not all nobles were capable, experienced, or competent in these roles. Fortunately, in the case of Pedro Alvares Cabral's appointment, he was not only capable, but would prove extremely competent and well chosen. His accomplishments in his career surpassed any he could have wished himself. Bringing home much wealth in spices, gold, and slaves, Pedro Alvares Cabral would become quite the lucrative trader. In his quest not only in seeking another trade route that would bypass the Mediterranean Sea, under the control of the Italian maritime republics and the Ottoman Empire, Cabral's expeditions were also meant to spread Catholicism as far and wide as possible, in an effort to halt the Moors and their Muslim beliefs. Their journey proved as much tragic as successful, in that on March 23, Vasco da Gama, together with 150 souls, completely disappeared, without a trace, off of the coast of West Africa. On April 21, seaweed was spotted, it is believed by sailors to mean there is landfall near. On Wednesday, April 22, 1500, they made landfall. Pedro Alvares Cabral named the spot Monte Pascoal, meaning Easter Mount, as they were in the Easter period. The location is on the northeast coast of present-day Brazil. 2 years after the discovery of Brazil, Pedro Alvares Cabral would become involved in hostilities with Vasco da Gama, and Cabral was relieved of his duties, and excused from court. Departing from court gave Cabral opportunity to settle his personal affairs, and in doing so, he married Dona Isabel de Castro, a descendant of King Don Fernando I of Portugal. They would have 4 children, 2 sons, and 2 daughters. Cabral would later attempt to reconcile with his king, but to no avail. He was also suffering from recurring bouts of fever, accompanied by tremors, which was thought to be malaria. His family home was located in Santarém, and there he remained until his death in 1520. His remains were laid to rest in the side chapel of the convent church within Santarém's Convent de Graça.